time to replant these onion chives again. So first thing that you're going to do is you have to separate these onion chives bulbs from this bulk or bunch of onion bulbs, because we're not planting onion chives from seeds. We're planting onion chives from bulbs. And this onion chives, this variety, is from Philippines, and most onion chives farmers in my country, Philippines, as far as I know, I'm not sure this modern generation, but before, producing seeds from onion chives is not that viable option in the past 2 or 3 decades. So they prefer to plant onion chives from bulbs, from the shoots. And so this is what we're going to do today. Today's Friday, July 11. So we'll get use our free time for gardening. Yesterday I was in bed doing nothing, but early, like late in the afternoon, I started doing something outside in the garden. I still have maybe another 4, how many pots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like around 5 more pots to be harvested. And each pot, it has around like half of this onion chive. So we have a lot of onion chives bulbs to plant. And when you plant bulbs, onion chives from bulbs, like during the time that you harvest all of them, and your plan is to do replanting, you cannot just replant immediately after you harvest these bulbs. You have to like store that one for several days in a cool, dry place, because if you plant it right away after you harvest them, so there's greater possibility, up to 90%, that all those bulbs you're planting will get rot and they won't survive. So you better store them for a few days or several days, like up until the time that you can easily notice that the bulbs are already dried. I mean, the dried ones that are being soaked in the rain, because it's a rainy season now. So actually planting onion chives during a rainy season is not an ideal thing. But we don't have a choice, because if I don't replant these bulbs here, then eventually we'll be eradicating this type of spice in our garden, because you can only store up to a month long or a month and a half for these onion chives bulbs. to be able to regrow and survive. But after 2 months of like idling here under the shade, then the bulbs will eventually deteriorate, and the chance of growing them, regrowing them again when you replant them is very slim. So therefore, you have to sacrifice. And for sure, I've been doing this for years. During rainy season, I can only expect around 50% result from my planting. Like for example, I'm planting 10 pots filled with onion chives. Uh, all those 10 pots are being planted by filled with healthy onion chives bulbs. But then most of it cannot endure the rain. The rainy season will last until October. Actually, will subside around September, beginning of September, and then towards the end of the month, there will be torrential rain again. And after that, by October, then it will slightly slow down, and then um, probably a few days of rainfall by October, and then we have rare rainy days during November, and then December, January, like though it varies like every year and there's changes but not that much. But if we have too much rain this month of July and in August, then likely by September we will have like 30-40% rain for the whole month, and then eventually it will subside going to the next month. And whoa, kakak ka na, ha? And then we're replanting now, July. We can harvest this July, August, September, October. So October, that is holiday. I will have 2 weeks, likely 2 weeks holiday. I'm not sure, maybe, yeah, maybe a week, more than a week. So I think that time will be enough for me to harvest this onion chives again and replant again. So I have too many available pots, but the only thing that I'm lacking right now is the chicken's manure and the cow's manure, where these are the most essential materials that I need to use for planting onion chives. But of course, even those dried and stored chicken's manure in the agricultural shop, still the ammonia presence is very potent, and it can rot even a tree, but not the banana tree, but trees that has soft trunk but not watery. Bananas are what has watery trunk, so it's like consists of those stems and then being packed together and form like a trunk. But then even I think eggplants, aubergines, even peppers, chilies, much more tomatoes, and even my grafted, um, not grafted, yeah, grafted, yeah, grafted avocado. That's like another 6 years, 6 months of waiting, and then I'll start seeing flowers from that. But then, unfortunately, I didn't able to see any flowers of it because I put too much chicken's manure on top of it, like the top area of the pot where I planted my grafted avocado. And yeah, after a week, all the leaves withered, and I need to find it out. The whole root system there were rotting because of the presence of the ammonia in chicken's manure. It's very important. Even it is being stored in the shop for years, for 2 years, 3 years. Unlike the cow's manure, either it is fresh or baked over time, baked naturally because they were stored for years in the barn. It's okay, but the problem with fresh cow's manure, if you use it as your like an alternative to soil, the fresh one you're using, the fungus is bah. I was surprised by this worm here. See that? That one. This will turn into a butterfly after the metamorphosis process is done. And they're eating green leafy vegetables, so my chickens here, they don't like to eat worm. So I just let this one um, stay. Uh, where are we? About the chicken's manure. So what I did most of the time with chicken's manure, how I apply that one into the soil, the repurpose, like the soil that I reuse for several times already. What I did most of the time is that I mix 50% like old soil and chicken's manure, and then it will take another a month or a month and a half time that it will just stay there in the open, and it's either it's rainy season or during summertime. So like every few days I have to water it down, soak it with water, and for 6 weeks minimum I start planting like um, eggplants, tomatoes. It's very hard and it's difficult to plant tomatoes where you can expect 100% success, even 50-60% success. It's very hard because most of the time you have to have your own greenhouse, but this time we don't have that budget for greenhouse. So I have tried where I successfully grew healthy tomatoes in 3 different varieties. But the videos, unfortunately, were saved in my old phones, and my old phones now are not working anymore. Both of those old phones I've got to in the past. And then um, I'm not really diligent and consistent when it comes to like uploading videos about the result of my garden. Like there are times that I love to film it and uploading videos and much more right now that my channel can do live streaming. So most of the time I do live streaming because, well, my capacity in editing videos, simple videos, just connect it and then put something there like pretty basic. But even the capacity that I have, that is quite pretty basic, but it's kind of additional labor for me. So yeah, I seldom upload videos right now. But then at the beginning of my channel, I was really enthusiastic and energetic. My working dynamics here in at the house here, outside the house in the garden, quite efficient during that time. But then once my friend helped me to monetize my channel, and then I started earning like a few cents in each of the videos uploaded, like 5, 8, or sometimes 25 cents. I was already happy with that. But then suddenly, like after 5 or 6 months of earning a few cents, a dollar in each of those upload and even those live stream I did, I didn't know why YouTube suddenly told me like I have to Google AdSense account, and with that they're requesting me to close the other account so that they can grant permission that I'll be monetized with my YouTube channel. Now I'm searching about my other Google AdSense account, they're not showing anything. So my monetization was on hold and it's been like 2 years now, more than 2 years now, and I lost my motivation to be active in the garden, especially in filming. So what I'm doing right now is just simply documenting my work. Probably if I get old and I have nothing to look into the surroundings because our world now is very chaotic, so at least I have some kind of memories to look back the videos that I'm doing in the past, documenting my doing here in the garden. So yeah, the next 10 years I have something to look up to and to check back again and see what was my doing in the past when it comes to gardening. When you get old, you don't have any big dreams, but just to like do the maintenance as long as you're still breathing and you have money for your medical bills. Aside from that, yeah, no more. Probably if you have more, you're financially stable during that time when you're old, then probably you'll have some time off from gardening and you do road trip or um, doing vacation or holidays to other countries if you have that finance financial preparation when you're young. But at the moment we're still like crawling, trying to meet all the responsibility each month. So it's a challenge, but well, that's life. So it will take us some time to finish cleaning this one, but since my holidays are quite limited, so tomorrow will be Saturday and then Sunday. I still have to like review my exam for my students because the type of the exam I'm giving to my high school students, since most of my subjects, yeah, most of my subject, I mean, most of my classes, rather, both regular and EP program, ESNT, and um, in this EP, like most of these classes falls into the category of speaking and communication. So yeah, it's obvious. Communication and speaking for, they're just changing the term, but when it comes to the direction of that subject course, it's all the same. It's just a trick. So all my exams from regular classes to EP and MEP, they're all speaking type of exam, oral examination. Most of the time I do Q&A. I provided them the questions ahead of time so that they have something to say that the moment I ask them. And especially for MEP classes, I mean MEP class, I only have one level, grade 12, term 6. For grade 12 and term 6, each of them have to pick 2 questions. And none of them has similar questions. I have to prepare 52 questions because there are 26. The total population of that class is 26, so each of them has to pick 2 different questions. So I have to make 52 questions from the 3 units that we have tackled already from the book. They have to be ready for the exam because it's one by one. I'll be calling them each from class number 1 to the last. So I divided my exam most of the time in 2 days, or no, 2 sessions to 3 sessions for regular classes, because most of the students have basic knowledge in English language. Then the questions are not pretty easy, but not difficult as well. They have time to prepare, but for them at the beginning, they would simply react. It's just very hard. I keep telling them, you can do it. Don't worry, I'll guide you the time that you're going to take the exam. And most of the time I did, like, I know the students already knew the question. That's why they memorized the answer, right? Pretty obvious. But the way how I identify the quality and the capacity of these kids, the moment they can answer my follow-up questions without the aid of their friends. That's how I determine the grade. I'm very generous in giving grades, but I exactly gave the grade to those who deserve the grade. So it makes them all happy. So I'm not a typical teacher, a traditional one where I have to record attendance every day. It sucks. It's a waste of time. Present, like man, you're just wasting your time. You have to start teaching. And my memory is still working, perhaps, because as much as possible I have to memorize all my students, their nicknames and their faces. And that is how you can easily get grade even you're not doing attendance. Memorize their faces and their names, and you don't have to worry about what to give them what grade, what specific grade you're giving them. But if you don't know the students, even their names, man, it's a game of riddle. That's why most teachers, they have to like do attendance, check their attendance, and I'm pretty sure other teachers who cannot memorize the whole class names, then they have to uh, determine the grade by checking on the attendance. Those who are coming every day, but the drawback there are brilliant kids that most of the time we're taking a lot of absences, but they're good kids. They're responsible when it comes to taking the test, the exam, the quizzes, or whatever activity you're doing there. But during those idle times where you're just simply teaching and then they're not around, so it would be unfair for these kids that are quite good in the class, but perhaps because you're not familiar with them, then they're going to receive a minimal score or grade in your class. So that's why, as much as possible, you have to practice your brain memorizing the names of your students during discussion, those who are participating, those who are active, because it's how most of the college professors and professors in the graduate studies, master's program and thesis program, this is how they identify their students. They don't have a detailed check record of you're absent or not, you're listening or not, but the capacity that you can show to the world, the skill and the caliber that you have possessed, and how you use it and maximize it in that particular subject, and how you respond positively to your professors, discussion and active in the class, getting good grade in your oral exam or thesis or whatever you have there. That's how the professors determine the grade for the students. Yeah. That's why never in my experience that I tried recording every detail. I've been here in Thailand for 14 years, and many years of that were spent in teaching from university, and now I'm teaching secondary high school. It's a waste of time. Probably others prefer to do that, but I love memorizing names and faces. So, yeah, and I'll give you a tip how to like easily remember your students. Every time you're in the class, you have 50 minutes, right? So when you arrive there on time and you're just teaching 30 minutes with them, you have to spend time in each of those kids. Like, yeah, even my time 3, yeah, from my time 1 to 6, from grade 7 to 12. Yeah, it doesn't deduct your energy for the whole day if you would spend a few seconds in each of them. How are you? What's going on? Yeah, those basic questions. These kids were hungry of an attention from adults because most of their parents are quite busy. Others, they don't have mother or father who are raising with them. They're raised by the grandparents. And then when you can turn the bad day into a brighter day by sharing a bit of your smile with them instead of being a cruel teacher inside the class. Then much more your kids will love you to death. So yeah, you've got to listen from the legend. Yeah. Well, though my direction right now is quite different, but the things I've learned from studying theology is that you have to develop your interpersonal skill. Do not be selective when it comes to making friendship with students. Do not be selective. That's the key word there. Do not be selective. Even the most poor, ugly kid in the class, you have to treat them equally, like your treatment to the most ugly and most unwanted kid in the class should be the same to the most handsome and the prettiest, the most handsome boy or the prettiest girl or the brightest kid in the class. You have to treat them equal. And you know what? When you do that, even those bright kids, those arrogant kids in the classroom will give you like utmost respect. That is how you earn respect from students. If you're not selective, if you're kind to all, you have to understand the world. Do not force them to get into your world, because if you do that, then you'll have violent reaction. You have this resistance experience from them. But if you let to bring yourself into the world, it makes them happy. And once you do that, people will love you. Probably if Britt is listening, watching my live streaming right now. Britt, you have to learn something from me because you're arrogant, full of yourself. You have to learn something from the legend speaking in front of you right now. And you have to teach your kid, Jacob, as well, because both of you are idiots. So you have to listen very carefully. If you don't want your days will be numbered in that school. You have to act as adult. Because you and Jacob, Britt and Jacob, they're like kids in an adult body. In an adult body. Uh, so that is that's the secret of how you. Yeah, I think if Britt is watching right now, he will exactly learn something. How to be a real teacher. Why kids will love you. You cannot demand that one. Respect and love from them. You cannot demand from them. You have to earn it. And how to earn it? It's a strategy. But since you don't study theology, and I studied theology very well in my years before, then it's not a struggle for me how to earn the respect of the students. It's just an automatic thing. I don't even think about it. It's a normal day, like there's nothing different. I don't see any like I'm progressing into this something. Like, I'm not even considering thinking about it. It's just a normal thing. Probably for others, you might be shocked how you do it, but no, for me, it's nothing because that's how I do. Like for example, if you use language, Filipino language or Cebuano language, you don't have to get sharp with yourself that you can speak Tagalog, you can speak Visaya or Cebuano, because it's ordinary to you. It's a thing. It's a way of life, right? And that's how my outlook as well when it comes to building rapport with my students. Yeah, you're a teacher and you don't know how to do that, you suck. You better leave and find another career. You can't do it. It's your bread and butter, then you have to do something out of the ordinary things that you can develop a seemingly extraordinary progress that you don't even notice the changes, but it can be felt and recognized by the people looking at you around. My throat is aching again. There's a developing sore throat, I'm not sure. So I have to drink that. Uh, that unwelcoming taste of that liquid that was prescribed by the doctor that I went there last time because I had that flu and fever and headache in a mix of three, and sore throat. So I didn't finish the small bottle yet, so I have to probably drink today if the pain is worsening. So I'm not sure if I can replant this today, since I still have to clean the pot right there. I'll show you the pot later. So perhaps tomorrow. So I'll be here tomorrow. And so probably I can replant this tomorrow. Yeah, I did live streaming yesterday, right? You have watched it, like half an hour. I was showing you my second harvest of my ladyfingers or okra. So today I actually considering to weed out those remaining unwanted vegetation inside the garden enclosure, but now the sun is already hot. It's like around 9:30, quarter to 10. I'm not sure how long I've been standing here cleaning this up. So likely, yeah, and I still have this here. Probably I'll do this next week. Next week, next weekend. Well, the exam today is midterm, so filling in the grade is not that difficult because it's not the final exam yet. So I think I can finish that one like a few hours of working. So I have to start marking the unit 1 to 3 so that But the only advantage is that if you know your students, their faces and names, then it's easy to grade them. You're not like staring at the horizon and trying to figure out what to do. Yeah, and you might be asking why I'm trying to memorize my students. Because I love it. And besides, when you are getting older, you have to exercise your brain, memorizing stuff, exercising your brain, memorizing ideas, concepts. You have to consider like studying almost all possible knowledge that is available because that is how you exercise your brain. As you get old, you're getting smarter, your memory is getting sharper, and you're away from dementia or Parkinson's disease. Because that disease right now, it's not only for Americans or European people, black people, but yeah, there are cases where Parkinson's disease and dementia are also appearing to Asian people because of the weather, probably the the type of food we're consuming and technology and all these stuff that are changing our world, and so our bodies naturally like reacting and adapting to changes and what's the norm of the society, and so everything is greatly impacted, and because of that we need to look after ourselves carefully. The only thing that I have some kind of problem is that I am nocturnal. I love spending time during evening, but I started adjusting as I'm getting old. I'm turning 39 years old next month, so I have to uh, be aware that it also costs a lot to my health, like having a few hours of sleep. Though my professor in the college before, Dr. Rubin, a highly respected Renaissance professor in the denomination of the Adventist institution, like there are few days in a week that that man doesn't want to sleep, but he wants to consume into reading and reading books for the whole night. And even his wife was asking us like, did you see where is your professor? He was not. He didn't come back home last night. We responded to his wife, well, I think Dr. Harvin was in the office. Our office was the basement of the auditorium stage, and it's also our classroom for theology students. In order for you to be raised, you must be born, you must be buried. That's the usual uh, theology of our professor, but we love it there because it's air conditioned. Other classrooms are not. Yeah, and then um, but I think right now Dr. Heaven's still healthy, despite of the fact that he spent most of his time reading, and there are a few nights in a week, and it's his routine. Now he's more than 60 years old, but I think he's still healthy. Probably his physical body adjusted already over time because of that routine that he's been doing since he was a student back in the day. But perhaps I have that kind of thing as well, very similar to him, since back in the day when I was in high school, I studied for free, so I have to like maintain the grade as high as I can get in its subject. So after university, after college, so I have to spend lots of time reading. Though I did have time coupling, courting ladies, but I'm not really focusing to that. Probably they did, but I didn't. I have several girlfriends when I was in academy, and then in college I have a few, but those were those were part of my experience. Living the life to the fullest, though I struggled extremely when it comes to financial matters. Most of the time, ladies are accommodating my needs, so how can I say no? And in exchange, my valuable time, but not all the time because I have to like prioritize my education. In which, after I graduated, I did not use my degree, and I even have my own different direction now. It's pretty hard to stand for an hour. Uh, what time is it now? 9:28. I think this one can help. Yeah, good, good. Yeah, so I think this live stream it's more on onion chives prep as being stated in the blog title, live stream title, prepping. You have to meticulously like cleaning this up after they're all dried. Yeah, gardening can be fun, wonderful experience if it is your interest, but if it's not, then it's like boring and annoying and probably disgusting for others. But for me, it's a mix. So there are times that I'm bored and I don't want to do anything in the garden. But since I've been into gardening and farming since I was a kid, because I grew up in a farm where both my mother and my father were farmers. We have a piece of land there around. 8.5 hectares altogether, like 6.5, and the other area has 1.5 hectare in it, so it's like 8 hectares something. And that's the thing that I'm considering right now, that we need to take care of that land, but we don't have the budget to fly back to Philippines right now. We're still saving and then paying other responsibilities. And the salary here, it's very minimal for a Filipino teaching English. Even teachers who are teaching other field like math and science, if they just arrive here in the country, then they cannot expect higher salary at the beginning. Probably there will be increment of salary in the coming years, but it's not a guarantee. There's another one. This one is very itchy once you touch the hair of that. I have to throw that one away. Yeah, kulit nitong mga lamok na rin. The mosquitoes around here are quite annoying. I will cut you in the time. No. Uh, yeah, I grew up in a farm, so since I was a kid, I knew already the work of the farm. From seeding, cleaning, weeding, fertilizing, harvesting, whatever. The vegetables or corn or other crops. I think that's the kind of knowledge that my father was successfully passed on me, though he died of a young age, like 48 years old, but he was able to leave behind something valuable that most of the generation right now don't have access that kind of experience. So it's a wonderful thing that my father did. The only thing that was not wonderful for me was the kind of faith and belief that he had about the existence of God in the Bible. Where for me, it's bullshit. is no such thing as that. There might be a supernatural being, a creator of this universe, but not the entirely truth as mentioned in the Bible. If there is, and there is greater possibility to that, and that is why I'm not into a believer of the natural selection by Charles Darwin that was published 1854. Together that year, the Adventism was also declared as an institution, established as an institution. But yeah. But I'm not into believing those things. If there's someone creating this universe and humans, because it's a possibility, us, you cannot exist like magic. But the way Christians portray God in the Bible, that He would come back and take all His people back home, gave them mortality or whatever. And that's fucking bullshit, I guess. It's an imagination of those delusional who suffered a lot during persecution. If you ask me what's my view and opinion to that, it's a delusional perception, it's a delusional thinking of the people in the past who suffered a lot by the oppression done by those cruel kings, leaders in the past. And when people experience that kind of struggle, physically and mentally, then they tend to cling on someone powerful. And so they have to imagine that there's someone out there which is powerful and kind, where they can lean on and ask for refuge and help. And so that belief in the Bible that there is a loving God that protects the good people and punishes the bad people exists in the minds of the delusional writers, lunatic writers. And when that kind of perception about life and about your future life started to evolve because of the doctrines and writings by those lunatic and delusional writers, then that tradition has been passed down from generation to generation. And so the generation today, you just simply believe what is written in the Bible because the past generation believed it the same. So without considering any kind of reasoning and logic why I should believe this, they simply suppress their brain, they simply suppress their minds by saying that by faith and the grace of Christ that I fully believe it. That sounds very funny and stupid, right? Absolutely. Because you have to reason out. You have to identify about the sources. Well, yeah, it's a valid sources. Like when you look at the Bible canonicity, the canonization of the Bible, like where scholars been gathered together to discuss. But I think that was the Council of Nicaea, right? If I can remember. I'm not into religious stuff right now. I'm not. But if I'm true, right? And most of the records they had in writing and translating the Bible were from the Latin, and it was done by the pagan Rome, because during Dark Ages all the possible manuscript, like close to original ones, were burned. And even probably the Hebrew manuscripts right now, it's not even the original ones, because Catholic sees all those documents, and there's only one official documents that is recognized, which is from the Catholic. So the things in the Bible right now, they're from Catholic origins, whether you agree that one or not. And Catholics, they have the priests, the Vatican, the cardinals, the Pope, and the people behind the curtains. They have all this black agenda for the world. Catholic is not a religion. It's a certain order that all people must abide and follow. Just imagine in a country that is solidified by Muslim community, but still the Catholic Church was able to get in and have their share in that place. So that's powerful there. That's how powerful they are. Like here in Thailand. So back again to what we're discussing lately. Like, I know there's someone out there creating the universe, but if you are forcing me to believe the kind of, like, the God in the Bible, I'm sure the God in the Bible does not fit to the possible existing God in the universe. That's it. People are good in fabricating stories. Once that fabricated stories and information be disseminated from one generation to the next generation, it will become the absolute truth. See? So that's scary at times when you don't use your brain to think and you just believe what others believe. If you just do that, then probably it's better if I have the capacity to do, like, I can change you through a robot, because you cannot decide your own. You're like a dead fish, like just staying afloat and go with the flow according to the current or the wave. When the wave push the fish to the north or the south, and the dead fish, of course, will not resist and just float like that. It seems like you're a human being, physically alive but mentally dead, because you cannot use your brain to think and reason out. Instead, to make it easy, just believe what others did believe. You're even worse than an idiot. have to use your brain. You have to reason out. You have to like ask, inquire, research. These are the things that make people aware and be informed. You have to reason out, you have to ask, you have to inquire, you have to observe, you have to determine, you have to study. And not just listening something from someone's mouth and then, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I believe that one too. You're stupid. Yeah, if my students are watching right now, even if the, even if there are times that I'm saying something, you just don't believe it easily. You have to confirm if the information is right. Maybe there are times I'm not right. I misunderstood something, so you have to confirm that one. You should not just like agree on whatever I say. You have to ask, inquire, clear the doubts, verify information, research, study, because only the people who are informed and well researched people are the ones who can possibly help themselves be aware of what's going on around, and the possible people where common sense are functioning well. The rest, they're just part of a colorful world. The worm that was here, like visibly seen with my two eyes, suddenly disappeared. Really, I have to look at it. I have to look after for that. Because I need to transfer that to other vegetation here that can possibly be of help to finish the metamorphosis, because I need to replant these chives, and therefore they have to be removed from here. So likely next month I'll be I will be I lost the thread. What is it? I'm buying cow's manure, chicken's manure. Was it the one I'm thinking? I'm not sure now. Yeah, I have this memory gap sometimes. Yeah, oftentimes. Like, suddenly I lost that specific train of thoughts. Like in a moment, like in a sudden, like, hmm. Yeah, but of course, I have to buy another set of chicken's manure and cow's manure next month, because I need more soil to be filled in our available pods around. We have lots of available pods. So I have to. And if I'll be buying cow's manure and chicken's manure next month, then that will be ready for October springtime. Yeah. So at least the rain will not be too much by the month of October. Then sure enough, if I can buy cow's manure, chicken's manure, and I have to mix it together, and some food scrap we have from the kitchen, probably.
Oh, bullshit.
What was that? uh, Good enough. No one was watching. You crazy bastard. You're already here. Mm. Good that I did not step on you. Crazy boy. So what time is it now? 9:52. So I guess we will end by 10 o'clock in the morning. So we still have 8 minutes to go. I'm probably 8:30, kind of 10:30. I have to, and the battery is running low as well for this particular phone that we're using. So we'll have that this live streaming end by around 10 o'clock or something. So I think I have to eat and then I have to go out and do work outside. Have to recharge the phone. I'll do another work this afternoon. But my wife told me that we're going to go outside. I'll go with her. So next week I have solid midterm exam from Monday. Oh yeah, I have to prepare for the Q&A exam for Matthew 3. Duty. They wanted the challenge, but of course, capacities. Why? This thing. Ah, I think it's 10 o'clock already in the morning. Well, still have to finish this one yet. Too tiny bulk to be separated and clean. And the green ones, they're edible, and we store them in the fridge and we use them to spice our salads, soup, stew, or even stir fry. They're very delicious and nutritious, man. Tell you. I even start thinking if this one is sellable, and then I'll try to sell this out in the market, but I'm still hesitant to do it. I have to remove this part that starts rotting, because if you don't do it, then the rest of the bulbs will be affected. Eventually, everything will rot in here, and the outcome, you don't have a onion chives. So there's a certain process that I have to follow in order for you to successfully plant onion chives with greater possibility of surviving them, especially rainy season. I do have 3 pots already that I planted. Last week, when there was suddenly a good sunshine and there was no rain for a few days, then I planted onion chives in 3 pots, replanted by the way. I'm not sure about the outcome of that because I planted in the same pot. Because the idea, if you ask the agriculture experts, they would say you should not plant the same crop, same variety in the same spot for 1, 2, 3 seasons. Like for example, this season you're planting corn, then as much as possible you have to plant another type of vegetable at the next season. Otherwise, the result, sheesh, the result could be 40-50%, even less. But I'm trying by supplementing the onion chives that I replanted on the same spot, the same soil from the last season. I hope by supplementing the organic fertilizer that I'm making, if I apply organic fertilizer there, hopefully it adds to the boosting need of these vegetable here. My wife is quite lazy to remove these dried skin here, so I have to remove this here. The secret, if you want to store these onion chives in the fridge for a longer period, you don't have to water them. Like here, it's dry, right? So you separate the green ones, the top ends, and then you cut it half. The other half, where the roots are, you have to remain them and then replant them into the new spots. And then the other half, from the top end, we're going to use them as spice your meals. And therefore, you have to store them in a longer period by not watering them or soaking them into water. Because if they're dried, you put them in the fridge, it can last for more than a month. So if you have a lot, then you can use your onion chives for like more than a month and still fresh, not dried, but fresh. But if you soak them in water or you like put them in the water and then even shake them after, there's still the presence of water left, and then it will be the cause of the rotting that can happen any time of the week. If you let them just dry after you cut it half, then you'll have a onion chives. Yep, 10:04 now. 10:04. So we will end after this, YouTube friends. So we're about to finish. I have to eat my breakfast and lunch at once, brunch. After eating, I'll get back here and start cleaning the pots. So probably I will show you the pots that I'll be cleaning today, where I'm planning to plant these onion chives tomorrow. So I'll show you that one around after this, before we end this live stream. Good enough that I have to plant this one tomorrow, since I skinned some of the onion chives too much. I skinned too much. I have a day for them to lay here in the open and dry. Uh, oh, another one. Hmm. Most of their dried skins are doubled, and then even the other skin that is not proper time yet to skin will be included. I think after this, I'm going to cut this half. Wow. Actually, I have a lot of onion chives to replant, but I'm not sure if the pots that I have right now is enough. Probably I have to clean that area again there. I don't have the bananas already, so I think it's fine if I put back the pots in there and then for onion chives as well. Before it was a disaster for the onion chives there. I will show you that one next time. If you have watched my live streaming yesterday where I showed the durian tree, the big one. Besides that is a platform where I used to put pots in there with vegetables. Actually, I planted peppers, but peppers weren't successful. Actually, didn't even grow. Like, didn't survive. They grow a little bit, but then didn't survive. And I lose the appetite of taking care of it further. Then eventually succumb to the presence of the unwanted vegetation that took place in the pot. And it was the unwanted vegetation enjoying the nutrients that I put into the pot. When was that? That was 2 years ago, more than a year ago, I think. Before I had the road accident. Like right now, I need to finish. Not finish, but I'm quite excited to win the first place of a bigger tournament in poker. Hopefully, WSOP Paradise in Bahamas this year will be mine. Through satellite, naturally. If I can win that, man, I tell you. first time to happen in Metroid. Well, we don't have good sunshine today, but it's a good thing that we don't have rain as well. Damay na po. Yan. That's it. Okay. We're about to finish. Yun. Oops. Yeah. Last piece. Last bulb. This one is very tricky. So tiny, so thin, fragile. Again. Blue horizon. Da, 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 da. Yeah, my throat is painful. I don't know what's going on. But, oh, every time I swallowed saliva, it's very painful. I have to cut this half. Ah, shit. It's 11 and 10:17. Man, my man. This we will use this for salad, spice our meals like stew, soup, and stir fry. Mm, smells good. And this other half will be ready for planting. But we'll have them laid in the open for a day to heal the wounded part of these onion chives. And then tomorrow and then Sunday we can start replanting them. my pots there. Never enough for these. To put fermented plant juice, organic fertilizer today because I have to clean the pots today. And I'll have those pots planted with these chives tomorrow. Mm. Perlu naman yung mga episode. Ano kasi totoy na nasa kauban. Bigas totoy sa una. Usara. Yuji. Because you have to train the roots as well. Hear the sound of the predators crying. Shout to the corners of the earth. Oh, my life. That I just thought that I would lose my mind again. I sure recall that every moment was a wasted time. It would have passed away. I think I finally know you. I can see beyond your smile. I can, what we have is still worthwhile. Don't you know that love is like a thrill that gives unraveling within? It ties us back together in the end. In your eyes, I can see my dreams reflection. In your eyes, found the answer to my questions. In your eyes, I can see the reason. I can see the reasons why I love you and I, drifting safely back to shore. And I think I finally learned to love you. 'Cause you and I were drifting safely back to shore. And I think I finally learned to love you more. I'm thinking of making another channel, YouTube friends. But to keep up, it's very challenging. So, I'm not sure if I can do that. think enough for tomorrow planting. I'm not sure because I have this goal in my mind that at least tomorrow I can plant. Soy! Wake out! I think I have to finish this so that my mind will be focused on prepping the pots. Now we're prepping the onion chives bulbs. And then after lunch, we will be prepping the pots. And then by tomorrow, just go planting. Kamu ada musik kiat ha? Enggak, okay. Oh. I'm already tired standing. Let me check the battery level of my phone. We're almost running out of battery. Let me check that one. 5%. All these greens here, we're going to use this for our meals. Dodong, kumain ka na, Dodong. So I think it will take me some time to finish. I will show you the pot that I'm planning to clean out today, and I'll be replanting these onion chives tomorrow. So that one, and then that, we still have this another, and then I'll show you the pots that here. So how many pots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Around 12 pots that I'll be cleaning out today after lunch. Then, thank you once again for watching. Bye bye.